We are now connected on Instagram, the Dre All Day Show, the Work on Your Game live stream show, happening live from the main campus of Work on Your Game University in beautiful South Florida. It's been kind of rainy today, but everybody got to eat. The plants got to eat. The grass got to grow. The flowers got to grow. So we all got to do what we all got to do. Hope everybody's had a great Sunday. We about to get into some major high-level game right here. Some major high-level game that's going to help you do what you need to do so you can go where you want to go and have the life that you want to have. If that's what you're interested in, then you need to stay here. You need to turn the volume up. If anybody else in the room or anything else in the room is making noise, you need to turn that volume down. Leave that room if you need to, but understand what I'm about to share with you right here could change your life if you take it and implement it. So I can't control that part, but I am going to give you some things that'll help you go where you want to go. As y'all come in, tell me your name and location in the comment section. If you're on Facebook, tell me your name and location. Hit that share button. Facebook, hit that share button. Share this to your timeline. Whoever is watching me on Facebook right now. If you're watching this on Instagram on my left, tell me that name. Tell me your name and location in the comment section. If you're watching this on Facebook over here to my right, hit that share button. Tell somebody in your timeline to come watch it. If you got somebody in the room with you right now, physically in the room with you, wherever you at, take your headphones out and let them hear everything I'm about to say. They're going to be happy that they heard it. So as y'all come in, we are getting started in 60 seconds. It is Sunday, April the 26th. We are almost done the first trimester of 2020 already. By this time next week, we'll be into a new month. Hopefully, they're starting to figure out how to solve this virus situation. Hopefully, then they can start opening up the economy again so everybody can do what they got to do. Everybody can eat again. A lot of people ain't been able to eat the way they want to eat while this whole thing been locked down. So let's see. I think the first comment we got here today was from Jonathan, checking in from Northeast Philly. Shout out to Northeast Philly. Shout out to Mount Airy, Germantown, Oak Lane, Fishtown, Northern Liberties, South Philly, Society Hill, West Philly, Southwest. I know a lot of people damn near everywhere in Philadelphia. Conshohocken, Plymouth Meeting, Bala Kenwood, Yaden. Shout out the whole Philadelphia area. Shout out to South Jersey. Shout out to Delaware and Maryland too. Let's see. Remy checking in from New Hampshire. Shout out to New Hampshire. Shout out to New England. Adrian from Germany. Money May says, do I post this IG story, Snapchat story? Yes, same. Whatever's on the IG story will be on the Snapchat story. Yes, it is the same. Drew Pearson checking in from North Dakota. Shout out to North Dakota, Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico. I spent some time in those states, believe it or not. But that's a different story for a different day. As y'all are checking in, again, tell me your name and location in the comment section. Facebook, if y'all are in there, hit that share button. Jesus checking in from Lima, Peru. We got Peru in the house. We got Germany in the house. We got anybody from Australia in the house. We got anybody from Africa. We're trying to get as many continents as possible. Matias checking in. Chris checking in from Louisiana. All right, we are getting started after I do this introduction. For those of you who don't know me, we got Deborah checking in from Brazil. So there we go. We got South America. We got Europe. And we got North America. That's 3 continents. That's a lot. All right, it's more than none. So listen, y'all don't know me. For those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. I am a former 9-year professional basketball player, played overseas. I am the author of 25 books. I've done 4 TED Talks. I created and published over 7,000 YouTube videos, 7,000 articles, done over 1,000 of these live streams. I've published over 1,400 podcast episodes that I call masterclasses, because what I give you is not just some random banter. It's actual, real material every single day that I do on my masterclass. You can get that at Work on Your Game University, which is in the pinned comment. I guess I got to put this comment down here again because it's cutting off. But anyway, I created this whole framework called Work on Your Game, this whole philosophy, this brand, this business called Work on Your Game. It's all about taking a pro athlete mindset and teaching you how to apply that mindset in your business, your sport, and your life. One of my books is about that whole framework, which is called Work on Your Game. But Work on Your Game is not about playing sports. It's not about starting a business. It's about you taking the tools that you already have within you and the tools that you are developing every single day, learning how to make the best use of them from the inside out so that you can be who you really need to be, live the life that you want to live, and get the results that you want to have in your life. So anybody who is interested in something like that, this is the topic that you need to be paying attention to. So what I'm about to do is make sure that we have making sure that my pinned comment is in here properly. And all right. Now that we got the pinned comment in here properly, that's better. Now we ready to get started on this subject. So the topic here today is how to pay less attention to them and put more attention on you. Now you can see it clear without having to push any buttons. Down in the comment on Instagram and on Facebook, you already see it up there. Now, why am I talking about this? One thing that I want y'all to understand, because these days a lot of people will come to me, and maybe they come to you, and maybe you've been looking for this. They come to me asking questions about productivity. How do I get more things done? How can I be more active? How can I finally, write that book? How can I put that article out? How can I, take all these ideas that are in my head and actually bring them to life? I got all these things that I want to do, but I haven't actually done them yet. How can I be more productive? I get people asking me this question all the time. Now, I want to be clear that productivity is not always the main goal. That's not always the number one thing you got to do. Sometimes you need to slow down. Sometimes you need to do nothing. But for those of you who are in this work on your game mindset in the moment, when you want to get more work done, when you want to be more productive, when you want to do more stuff, what are some hacks, some tips, some strategies, something that you could do to help you get more done in a shorter period of time? I'm going to tell you what that is. All right. I'm going to tell you up front what it is, and I'm going to tell you how to actually apply it. All right, here it is. Stop paying so much attention to what other people are doing. If you want to put more time into your business, into your life, into your game, into what you have going on or what you want to have going on, the number one strategy that will help you right now, immediately, this will make a serious change in your life right now if you apply it, is stop paying so much attention to what everybody else is doing. Whatever platform you're watching me on right now, whether you're watching this, the replay on YouTube, whether you're watching this on Instagram, or you're watching this on your Facebook feed, that platform that you're watching me on right now is probably one of the main culprits that's taking up a whole lot of your time and a whole lot of your attention and probably a whole lot of your energy on a daily basis. And what is it giving back to you? That's the question that I'm going to ask you. Now, if you're listening to me, I'm going to give something back to you every time you listen to or read or watch something that I put out. But the majority of stuff that gets put out on these platforms is not really doing anything for you, but taking up your time, sucking time away from you, sucking energy and attention away from you that you're not going to get back. So this is if you could just do one thing, if you only take one thing from everything I say, I'm giving it to you in an introduction. I haven't even gotten into the point yet. In an introduction, stop paying so much attention. Stop scrolling through your Instagram feed so much. Stop going to the Explore tab and trying to see if there's somebody new that you should be following. All right, stop watching videos of people gossiping about this guy says something about him and these girls talking about each other on a reality show. Stop responding to the comments and somebody posts something about they don't like Trump or somebody saying that the economy is a hoax and you get into an argument and you're reading the comments and watching people go back and forth. All those things are taking time away from you, attention and energy away from you every single day, and they're giving you nothing in exchange. Now, I want you to understand that there is an investment. There's a give and take in life. If you want to get something, you got to give something. If you want to get better at having muscles, you got to go to the gym and you got to give time and attention to the gym. But the thing about giving time and attention to the gym as opposed to giving your time and attention to your Facebook feed is that when you go to the gym, you know exactly what you're getting out of it. You know why you're going to the gym because you're going to get something beneficial for yourself out of going to the gym. You know why you go to work for 40 hours a week because you know what you're going to get from going to your job. But what are you getting from scrolling Instagram? What are you getting from watching a bunch of gossip videos on YouTube? What are you getting from arguing with people in the comment section on Facebook? People who don't even come out of their houses. They live in a bubble, mental bubble, maybe even a physical bubble. Don't even know what's going on. They got their opinion. Everybody has one. Everybody got a bunch of them. What do you get out of going back and forth with those people? Probably nothing tangible that you can articulate. Nothing. But it's taking your time up all day. And I want you to understand that the engineers in these companies, the one that you're watching me on right now, listen, they're really smart people, probably smarter than all of us. They know how to keep your attention hooked. They know how to keep you from leaving that app. And every day they're working and trying to figure out how do we suck more time away from these individuals? Because the more time you spend on their platform, the more people are on it, the more valuable they become, and the more money they make. Everything is usually you could trace it back to money or power, why people do what they do. But that's a different conversation for a different day. Now that I've given you all that game, I want to let you know I'm just giving you the introduction to the topic. We haven't even gotten into the meat of the topic yet. You understand that? All right, so this is what I do. In case y'all didn't know, I do this every single day. I do it at Work on Your Game University, which you can see on Instagram. It is right there in that pinned comment, and on Facebook, y'all see the link right above or right below, wherever it is. Work on Your Game University. I do this every day. But in case y'all didn't know, I'm going to give you some game here today. And listen, just take it in. Point number one. You do not need to know, quote unquote, need to know as much, air quotes again, news as you think you do. Most of what you are consuming every single day that you think is news is not news. The news is not what it used to be. Somebody asked me, where can you get the book? Well, I got a bunch of different books. I got 25 books. I'm going to tell you about the books at the end. For everybody who is watching, who doesn't usually watch these, I take all questions at the end of the content. I'm about to give you the content right now. I just gave you the intro. I'm going to give you the points. Then I'm going to take every question in the comment section. I will answer at the end of this, all right? So the news used to be, let me tell you how the news used to be. It used to be that news's objective was to tell you what was going on in a very objective way, and then you could draw your own conclusions, whatever you thought about it. They didn't tell you what to think. They didn't tell you their opinion. They just told you what happened. You turn on the news, they tell you a police officer got shot. There was a fire in this part of town. There's great weather coming. The football team won their last game. The basketball team lost their last 3. They just told you what happened, and you did whatever you wanted to do with that information. They were able to do that because there wasn't so much competition. There was only a few channels. Even when there was cable TV, there was only so many channels on cable. I remember we had cable TV. It was only like 150, 200 channels. What's 200 channels seems like a lot of channels because you can only watch one channel at a time. But nowadays, how many you got? Now you got like 1,000 channels. That's not even counting the internet. And here's the thing that happened next. Actually, one more thing about the news back in the day was that they made their money by running commercials. The more people they got to watch their show, they could tell the advertisers like Clorox Bleach and some candy company and whoever, the local automobile dealer, hey, this is how many people are watching our show. If you want to advertise on our show and run a commercial, here's how much it costs. And that's how the news makes their money, by running commercials. I think some of y'all know that. Some of y'all might not know that. The news makes their money because they run commercials in between the actual meat of the show. And nowadays, that's been replaced with advertisements online if y'all watching something online. Now, the thing is this. Years later, this thing called the internet came around. And when the internet came around, the news that used to tell you what was happening, now they had a whole lot of competition. News didn't have competition for 70 years. There was no competition for news. Then the internet came around, and now somebody on a website in the basement, living in the basement of their mom's house, could put the news out before NBC put the news out, before CNN put the news out, before Fox put the news out. Somebody on Twitter could put the news out. Somebody with a blog could put the news out. Now, people like me and you, we didn't need to watch the news to find out what was going on, or at least what we thought was going on, because we could just get it off the internet, and we didn't even have to pay for it. Because the internet sites could just run ads, but we didn't have to click on them. And now the news, nobody's watching it, so now they couldn't charge as much for their advertisements. So this is why a lot of news all of a sudden had to change their business model. First of all, a lot of people lost their jobs who worked at the news. A lot of people who run blogs nowadays and had their own sites and podcasts now used to work at news companies. They can't anymore because they don't have the money anymore. Any of you used to get magazine subscriptions, and you know how the magazine used to be kind of thick, and over the years it just got thinner and thinner until a lot of magazines, they don't even print anymore. They just do online edition magazines because they're not making enough money to print. All of this is to tell you this. The news had to change their whole business model because they realized that if they just told people objectively what was going on and allowed you to draw your own conclusions, it was too boring. It wasn't interesting enough because their competition on the internet was telling people what to think. The competition was telling people their opinions. The competition was being very, it's the word I'm looking for, is on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it right now. It's being very sensational. That's the word I'm looking for. It was really sensational. It got people emotional. It got people hyped up. And the news said, all right, we got to do something different. So now when you watch the news, what do they give you? The news doesn't just tell you what happened anymore. Now the news tells you not only what they want you to think happened, they tell you a little piece of what happened. They take it out of context. Oh, this person said this. They take 2 sentences out of a 3-paragraph statement. They say, oh, this person said this. And then they tell you what to think about it. They tell you their opinion. And I'm telling you all that to tell you this, because maybe you like it, maybe you don't. I'm telling you that to explain that the news is no longer the news. The news used to tell you, here's exactly what happened. You do whatever you want with this information. Whatever you think, you think. Now the news tells you, here's a little piece of what happened, the part that we want you to know about. And wait, we're not done. We're going to tell you what you should think. We're going to have our opinion people come on and tell you what their opinion is of this little piece of context. And we want you to have the same opinion that we got. That's what the news does these days. So no, it's no longer news. In my opinion, that's not news. That's journalism. Journalism is you share your opinion. News is you're just objectively stating the whole 100% of the facts. Nobody does that anymore because it doesn't work. You state 100% of the facts. Whoever's on, everybody has chosen a side. Everybody's polarized, so nobody wants to hear objective facts. They want to hear the skewed facts that skew towards what their opinion already is. And that's a whole, again, a different conversation for a different day. But I had to put that out there to let y'all understand that when you think what you're hearing is news and what's actually happening is not really what's happening. It's someone giving you their interpretation and they're mixing it in with their opinion. They're mixing a little bit of fact with a whole lot of opinion, and they tell you, well, it's factual because look at this little fact that I put in the third paragraph here, but I've been talking for 10 pages. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm explaining that to you for you to understand this. You have to be much more discerning these days about, excuse me, about who you listen to, what you listen to, and the source of information. Just because somebody's working for NBC or ABC or CNN, or they got a suit on, or they got a bunch of followers on social, doesn't mean what they're telling you is actually true. Doesn't mean it's based in any objective fact. Doesn't mean it's actually going to help you. And it doesn't mean you even need to know about it in the first place. I'll tell y'all something. I don't watch the news at all. I have not watched a news program in 10 years, not one. But tell me what piece of news happened that I didn't know about and it hurt me in any way. You can't name one thing. When a hurricane came to Miami, I knew about it. You know why? Because when actual news occurs, you don't have to watch the news to know about it. That real news will find you. Y'all hear what I just said? When you're out there living your life and some actual news happens, something that you really need to know, it will find you. You don't have to go looking for news. That doesn't make any sense. Excuse me. News is something that people need to know about, not want to know about, need to know about. Hurricanes hitting, you'll know about it. There's some kind of crisis virus going on, and people are getting sick and dying, you'll know about it. There's your job is shutting down and you can't go to work, all right, you'll know about it. When something's really happening, there's a snowstorm coming to town, you'll know about it. If you got to go look for it, it's not news. Everybody got that? So when CNN comes on and says, hey, listen to this crazy thing Donald Trump supposedly said at his press conference, and you didn't know about it, you never heard about it, and now they're trying to make front page news out of it, is that news? I would say no. That's not news. Why? Because they had to try to make you think that it matters. See, something that's actual news, I don't have to try to sell you on the fact that it matters, because as soon as you hear it, you know it matters. And it will come find you because it's that important. Something that's really important will come and find you wherever you're at. I don't care where you're at, it will find you when it's news. If you're looking and somebody has to go manufacture it, it's not news. And that's what the news networks do today. They manufacture stories because that's the only way they're going to keep you watching. And every time you watch or click, what do? They run an advertisement, and when they run ads, they get paid. That's how all those people on TV got the nice suits and they have a job and they got a car and they pay for their kids' private school, is because you watching their videos and reading their articles, they run ads, that's how they get paid. Everything is based on their money. It's not based on actually informing you. It's based on them getting paid. And there's nothing wrong with getting paid. Let me be clear. All right, if you're providing a service to somebody and they want it, all right, it makes sense that you charge for it and it makes sense that you get paid for it. There's nothing wrong with getting paid, but I want you to understand what people's motivation is behind what they're doing. And their whole point, in order for them to keep getting paid, they have to keep you clicking, they have to keep you watching, they have to keep you liking and following and commenting, because that's the only way they make money. So if you stop seeing it as news, they stop making money. But their incentive is not to inform you. Their incentive is just to keep your attention by any means necessary. So if that means telling you some BS just to get you hyped up and excited and get you talking, so be it, because they got paid. For them, the means justify the ends. But I'm explaining to you that I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just telling you what it is, and you can do whatever you want with this information. You see what I did there? Point number 2. The topic for those of y'all that came in the middle of this: pay less attention to them and put more of your attention on you. This is the number 1 hack I give anybody who wants to be more productive. Number 2, if you cut in half the numbers of opinions and stories and feeds that you read and look at and follow every single day, you cut it in half. So if you go to the number of people you follow on, number of people whose comments you read on Facebook every day, you ain't got to unfollow them. You just stop reading their stuff. If you cut down the number of times in a day, you pick up your phone and open up the Instagram app just to see who else posted something new. If you cut in half the number of times somebody posts something and you click that little comment button, not to leave a comment, but to see what everybody else's comments are, and you start stop reading through the comments just half the time. So if you do it 10 times a day, instead you just start doing it 5 times a day. So instead of reading through the comments every time, read it half the time. If you stopped going on YouTube 3 times a day and falling down a rabbit hole and watching an hour's worth of videos, if you instead of doing that 3 times a day, you did it 1.5 times. So you did it once for an hour, another time for 30 minutes. If you did those things, you just cut down your consumption of mindless stuff that isn't really helping you do anything. It's just entertaining you and occupying your time. You cut it in half. Let me ask this question. How would that negatively affect your life? What would you lose? How would it make you worse? How would that set you backwards? How would that keep you from getting to where you want to go in life? If you just cut in half, how much time you spent looking at, reading, watching, listening, browsing what everybody else is doing? If you just cut it in half, I'm not telling you to stop doing it, just cut it in half. All right, but go on a little diet of other people's lives, of other people's highlights. It's not really their lives, it's the highlight reel that people put out. If you did that, what would you lose in your life? Somebody said you might miss some relationship goals posts, right? LOL, right? What would you actually lose? Nobody can come up with anything. You wouldn't lose anything. The answer is you would lose nothing. Why? Because the stuff that you're getting is worth nothing. And all you would do now, you got all this time on your hand. You got extra attention and extra energy that now you could use for whatever you want. So those of you who have been having challenges with being productive and getting more done, and you got these ideas you think it's going to take you 6 months, how would you like to get it done in 2 months? You got a plan that you want to get done in 10 years. How would you like to get it done in 4 years? Well, here's what you can do. I just told you. Stop paying so much attention to what everybody else is doing. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that you might not have thought about. When you go on a YouTube channel of somebody who's popular, or you're following somebody on IG who you just want to see what outfit they post or what kind of car they standing next to take a picture of, or what they're going to say in their caption because you think they're subbing somebody else that they might have a conflict with, or reading somebody's Facebook page and they're talking about this and that, whatever, every single day. Let me ask you a question. How many of those people are coming to your YouTube, your Facebook, your Instagram, and reading through all the comments and reading everything you say and leaving a comment and watching everything you put out even when it is not doing anything for them? If what the stuff you're putting out is doing nothing for them, how many of them are coming and watching your stuff? How many of them are subscribing to read what you say? How many of them are putting any of their time or their energy or their attention into anything that you have going on? Now, I don't know you personally, but that sounds like an imbalanced relationship to me. You're giving a whole lot of your time, energy, and attention to what they're doing, but they're giving zero of their time, attention, and energy to what you're doing. Now, you explain to me how that's a healthy relationship. I don't know any relationship that lasts too long is working that way. All right, those relationships don't work out. All right, if they do, we call that abusive relationship. We call that domestic violence. All right, mental abuse. All right, those don't work out too well. We make hashtags about that. So if they're not giving you anything, but you're giving them any of what you got, I mean, where's the balance in that? People often ask me about balance. All right, where's the balance in that? You're giving to them, but they're giving you nothing back. Now, listen, if you're going to give somebody your attention, you're giving me your attention right now. You're giving me your time. You're giving me your energy right now, but I'm giving you something back. Listen, that's my guarantee. The work on your game brand guarantee is if you give me some of your resources, I will give you 10x the value back in return. That's the way that I work. All right, that's the minimum. All right, that's the standard. All right, everything else is going to be at that level or above. But I'm not going to take your time and attention and ask you for time and attention, then not give you anything of value back, because that ain't going to work out for too long. And maybe it could work out, because listen, some of y'all do it with some people that you know, maybe some famous person, maybe some rapper, some basketball player. Maybe that you do it with those people, but that's just not the way that I operate. I want to give people value. They're giving me value. They're giving me their resources. I'm going to give you value. I guarantee it every time. I don't care if it's one person or a million. I'm going to give you value back. So you just got to ask yourself, the people that you're giving your attention to, how much of their attention are they giving you? And you can marinate on that. You can think about that when you go to sleep tonight. Point number 3. The topic, again, for those of y'all came in the middle of this, pay less attention to what they are doing and more attention to what you are doing or what you could be doing. Here's the third thing, and it goes hand in hand with the point that I just made. You got to value yourself more. You got to get more. You got to put a higher level of value on you. Because think about this. I had people will come to me and be like, somebody sent me a DM a couple weeks ago. He was like, yo, I want to ask you some questions. Do you have time to talk? And I said, well, go ahead and ask your question. Because he's in the DM. I said, go ahead and ask your question. And he said, well, I got a lot of questions. Do you have time that I could actually speak to you by phone? Now, again, I don't know how many of you know me or familiar with me, but I'm an entrepreneur. My time is worth money. And I said to this individual, I said, listen, if you have questions, you can go ahead and write it down, and I'll answer, or I'll tell you where to get the answers at. But if you want to speak to me one-on-one, I charge money for my time. Now, you're asking me for a consultation. If you want to get on the phone, you're asking for a consultation, and that costs money. Now, if you want that, we can keep talking, and I'll tell you how much it costs. Now, if you don't want that, then go ahead and ask your question. I don't remember what he said, but we didn't do a consultation. I wasn't expecting him to do one. But the point is this. People who put themselves in the position of power, a position of creating value, a position of their time is worth something, they value their time. That's why they're able to put a price tag on their time. Like, you can't just call Tony Robbins and say, yo, Tony, I got some questions about my motivation. I don't feel inspired in my life. Can you talk to me for an hour and answer all my questions? He gonna say, yeah, I can talk to you, but it's gonna cost you $1 million. If you're interested, I'll send you to my salesperson, and she'll set it up and take your credit card information. And you either pay or you go away. It's one or the other. And I'm not saying that to say that is anything wrong with Tony Robbins doing that, because he's built value in his word. He's built value in his name and in his brand. And the thing is this. The people who have built value in their brand, they don't give away their time for free. They don't give away their time unless they're getting something back. And if they do give away their time in a charitable donation type of way, it's a strategic way of doing it. Like, I'm going to give my time, but I'm doing it because I want to give to these specific people. And if you're giving their time to anybody else outside of that little group that they want to give to, okay, you got to pay. It costs you this much. Or y'all got to book that with my agent. You need to talk to my manager. Y'all got to hire my assistant. You got to see if you can get on my calendar. Why? Because they value their time. Now, you, right now, maybe you're not Tony Robbins. Maybe you're not famous. Maybe you don't feel like you're that known that you think you could go and tell somebody they got to pay you to talk to you on the phone. Well, understand this. That still doesn't mean, even if you think your time is not at the point that you could charge somebody money for it, you can still say that my time is valuable, more valuable to me than it is to you, which means this. If somebody's posting things on the internet or some garbage that's on TV or wherever you get your media material from, if it's not going to make you better, then how is that a good investment for you? One of the things that I talk about is the 5 forms of investment. If y'all didn't know the 5 forms of investment, they're time, money, attention, energy, and focus. If you put everything you do in life, you're putting at least one of these into it with hopes, I would assume you're trying to get something back. All right, everybody knows what investment means, right? You might not know the exact definition, but let's just give a general definition of investment. It means you put something in with expectations you're going to get something back in the future. All right, that's what an investment is. I put something in, I get something back. All right, so if you know anything about investing, let's say real estate. Some people invest in real estate. They put money and time in up front, and hopefully in the future that real estate is worth more money, it appreciates, and they can eventually maybe sell it or rent it or just hold on to it, and their net worth goes up, or they have more cash, or they can sell it for more money than they paid for it, and they get a return on investment. Anything you do, if you go to the gym and lift weights every day for 6 months, that's an investment. What are you hoping to get out of that? What's your return on investment? Is that you'll be healthier, you got bigger muscles, you look good on the beach, the girls or the guys are looking at you, you feel better, you're healthier, you live longer, all of those things. That's your return on investment, right? If you go pay for somebody selling a book and you buy the book, now the book, no, money's not going to fall out the sky because you read a book. But what happens? You get information, you get knowledge, maybe you get some entertainment. You just wanted something to read. Maybe the book teaches you how to do something that you didn't know how to do. It gets you on the next step to where you want to go. There's a return on that investment. So everything that you do, every single action you take in life, every thought that you have, every word that you speak, every person you talk to, every website you visit, every Instagram that you browse, every feed that you look at, is an investment. Everything's an investment. The question is it a good investment, meaning it's going to pay you back later on, or is it a bad investment, meaning it's a sunk cost, meaning you put something in, but it never comes back. Basically, whatever you put in is a black hole. It just goes down in that hole and it never comes out. It's just gone. That time that you put into browsing your feed, all right, do you get anything back from that? No? Okay, that's a bad investment. That person that you talk to, the person around your way who maybe a week or so ago, I told you about 3 different types of people, right? 2-minute people, 2-hour people, and 2-day people. You run into a 2-minute person and you talk to them for 3 hours. Is that a good investment? No? Okay, so that 3 hours you'll never get back. All right, now you wasted your time spending 2 hours watching some YouTube videos about some garbage that ain't got nothing related, no relation whatsoever to anywhere you want to go in your life. Is that a good investment? Is that going to make you better next year? Are you going to be better next week because of that 2 hours you put in watching YouTube today? No? Okay, that's a bad investment. And here's the problem with bad investments. Because you might say, well, so what? Every once in a while we could throw something away. Maybe you got enough that you could just throw it away. You know, you see rappers go to the strip club, they just throw the money away. They got so much they can just throw it away. Maybe you feel like you can just throw some of your resources away because you got so much of them. I'm not here to judge, but let me ask you this. The problem is there's a limit to most resources. Time, the most valuable resource, there's a limit to that. You only got so much time. Every day we know we all got 24 hours. We're all equal in that way, and we're all equal in another way that eventually all of us run out of time. All right, run out of time, we call that dying. All right, any of y'all heard of that? All right, when somebody dies, all right, that's when they ran out of time. They can't make that investment anymore. And other thing is, if somebody dies, they can't make any other investment either. So time is the most important investment because you run out of that, doesn't matter how much you got of everything else. Now, you run out of time, you could be the richest person in the world, you can't use the money. Now, you run out of money, as long as you got time, you can make money back. You run out of energy, you can go to sleep, you'll have more energy tomorrow. You run out of attention or focus, you can go, meditate or something, take a bath, you might get your attention and focus back. But you run out of time, the game's over. So everything you do requires some type of time investment, right? Now, if you make too many bad time investments, what happens? If you make too many bad time investments, you use your time in an unproductive way for you. It's not taking you anywhere. Jessica, what's going on? It's not making you better. It's not taking you further. It's not taking your game to a higher level. What happens? Eventually, you have no more time to invest. You become investment poor. You can't make any more investments. Your time is up. And whatever you've done, you've done. Whatever you haven't done, you haven't done. The game ends. And you don't get to see what happens next if you run out of time. And I'm telling you all that. We're still on this third point here. The people who build the most value in themselves in life, they value their time and they value themselves more than they value what anybody else's agenda is. Their number one agenda is themselves. And you might call that selfish, but listen, success is selfish. You want to be successful, you got to be selfish. You got to put yourself first in many situations. You definitely got to put yourself first above browsing through material that ain't making you better. You got to start looking at everything in your life through the lens of investment. All right, if I spend an hour, with this dude who's a 2-minute person, is this a good investment or a bad investment? If you realize it's a bad investment, here's the thing. Even though you talking to him, he's a 2-minute person, right? You talking to him will make his life a whole lot better because you're more valuable than he is. But his talking to you is not making you better. So it'll make him better, but it'll make you worse. Is that a smart investment by you? I mean, maybe if you're running a charitable organization and you just want to give away everything you got until you ain't got nothing left, hey, maybe. If that's what you want to do, I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. I'm just putting it out there for you. Now, if you find a person who's at a level above you and they don't want to give you too much of their time, you can't be mad at them for that because they're looking at you the same way you should be looking at that 2-minute individual. All right, how much time is this person actually worth to me? That's what the selfish part is. So if you go to Tony Robbins and say, can I talk to you, ask you some questions about my motivation, and he says, yeah, but you got to pay me. Okay, well, there's a reason why he's looking at you like that. Are there people that somebody could call, they could call Tony and he would take the call and not charge them nothing? Yeah, you know why? Because he looks at them a different way than maybe he looks at you or he looks at me or he looks at somebody else. But the point is this, you got to put yourself in that same mind frame mentally of you come number one, and every investment of time that you make, you need to ask yourself, is this going to make me better or is this going to make me worse? And just in case anybody was wondering, there is no neutral in the universe when it comes to investing. There's no neutral. If you think talking to somebody is going to keep you the same, doesn't make me better, doesn't make me worse, keeps you the same. Well, let me tell you what happens when you stay the same. All right, I'm not trying not to get too scientific on y'all because I'm not a scientist, but the Earth, the planet Earth, all right, it rotates, right? Everybody knows that the Earth moves. Y'all know that, right? Y'all went to school? All right. And y'all know the Earth, it rotates around the sun, but it also rotates on its axis. So the planet itself moves, and it moves around the sun. So that's how we get the seasons, and that's how we get day and night. And the thing is this, since the Earth is always moving, if you think you could do something that's going to keep you neutral, That's like getting on a treadmill and starting it and then not moving. All right, the earth is moving like the treadmill is always moving, right? So if you try to stand still, any of y'all ever got on the treadmill and stood still and it was on and the treadmill was on, what happened? All right, we know what happened. A blooper happened, right? Something on somebody's highlight reel, or not a highlight reel, but a blooper reel, right? The Snapchat fail army. I think it's called Fail Army on Snapchat, where you just look at funny little clips of people. All right, I guess TikTok now. All right, you don't want to be the person standing still on a moving treadmill. All right, life is a moving treadmill. Now, I'm not saying that you always have to be doing something or always have to be active or always be productive. There's a time to stop. There's a time to sit down. There's a time to go to sleep. We all go to sleep and rest. We got to do that. But I want you to understand that if you think you're doing things that are keeping you neutral, this is just keeping me where I am, I want to maintain the status quo. Well, the world is moving while you're standing still. So what does that mean? That means you're losing. Y'all know algebra, right? The world is moving. You're standing still. You lose. You stand still for too long while the world keeps moving. Eventually, the world will be 10 years ahead of you. You still back here. All your friends are 10 years ahead of you. You still back there. All those people that used to be your equals, now they're looking at you like a 2-minute individual. They only giving you 2 minutes of their time, and you wonder why they blowing you off, why they not taking your calls, why they changed the group text and you're not in it anymore. Because you made too many bad investments. So I want you to really start thinking from this point forward, everything that you do, is this making me better or is this making me worse? All right. In life, you either build or destroy. There is nothing stays the same. You get better or you get worse every single day. Everything you do, every person you talk to, every thought you have, every word you speak, every action you take. Is this making me better or is this making me worse? Now, I'm not telling you that you should expect to be perfect, because there's no perfect human being. None of those exist. But when you do make a mistake and realize that you made a bad investment, here's your assignment. Don't make that same bad investment again, because at that point you become stupid. See, I know the difference between ignorance and stupidity. And this is the last thing I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to recap and I'm going to take questions. All right, ignorant means, if you looked it up in the dictionary, ignorance means not to know. Okay? Ignorance means you just don't know something. All right, so if I've never been in outer space, so I'm ignorant when it comes to anything related to space shuttles. Ignorant doesn't mean that you're a bad person, you have bad energy. It just means you don't know something. All right. Now, when you make a bad investment, the first time you make a bad investment, we're going to chalk that up to ignorance. You just didn't know. I didn't know that this guy was a loser. I didn't know that this person wasn't that smart. I didn't know that this guy was a 2-minute person when I gave him 2 hours. But now you know. Now, once you find out that a person that you gave 2 hours to is actually only worth 2 minutes, now you know. You can no longer claim ignorance. So the next time you see them and you know they're worth 2 minutes, but you give them 2 hours, at that point now you become stupid because you knew better and you did it anyway. See, stupidity means you know what the right thing is, but you do the wrong thing. Ignorance means you don't know what the right thing is and you do the wrong thing. I can forgive ignorance. I cannot forgive stupidity. And it's not about me. I'm not the judge. I'm not a judge of men. I'm not your judge. Okay, you don't have to answer to me. You got to answer to you. Life treats you the exact same way. Life will forgive your ignorance. Maybe the first time. Maybe the first time. Some of y'all made a mistake one time and that mistake cost you. Life didn't give you forgiveness. Most of the time you can get away with one instance of ignorance. But the second time, the third time, the fourth time, I don't know any of y'all ever been in the judicial system. You see that same judge more than once. Okay, the first time they might be nice. Second, third, fourth time, all right, y'all know what happens next. We ain't even got to go into that. Now, I'm not telling you, with all this being said, that you need to cut yourself off from other people or cut yourself off from life or delete your account on social media. Listen, I use social media. I'm on it right now. But I want you to consider that you maybe start putting something out for everybody else to consume instead of you being the consumer. Start being a producer. You want to be a more productive individual, then produce. Our producers, you know what they do? They produce things. Consumers, they consume things. Spectators, they watch things. Which one you want to be? Again, I'm not saying either one is right or wrong. I'm just putting it out there for you. You can do what you want to do with this information. But you can't say it's a bad investment. Now, all that being said, I'm going to recap these points. I'm going to tell you about these books I got sitting here in front of me. Then I'm answering every question that is in that comment section right now. So if you got a question, go ahead and post it right now. Make it good. Keep it short. The topic again, how to pay less attention to what everybody else is doing, more attention to you. Number one thing, I told you at the introduction to this, the number one hack I can give all of y'all, if you remember one thing out of everything I said here today, is if you pay less attention to what other people are doing, you will immediately, amazingly, miraculously create more time, space, and energy for yourself. And you can now do all the stuff you said you couldn't do because you don't have time. Now you can do it. Because you took all that time that you were putting into them and they and her and him, and now you can put it into you. Why not? All right, there's the hack. Point number one, you don't need to know as much news as you actually consume. What you consider to be news is not actually news. All it is people putting out things more and more sensational just to get your attention, just to keep you emotional, because the more you watch, the more you click and scroll and read and comment, they get paid, and this is the way the media works. The media makes money based on people's attention. This is an attention economy. It's not even off money. It's off getting people's attention. The more they keep your attention, the more money they make. Listen, Instagram loves me right now. You know why? Because I'm on here for an hour at least doing this live right now, and I got people watching it. They love it because I got more people on this app, and they're happy when people are on the app, and next time they get their company evaluated, they can say, look at these people that are on here for an hour. They love this. They want your attention. That is how they get you. They suck your attention away, and your attention is connected to your time. You run out of time, the game is over. Point number two, if you cut in half, just half, not 100%, just half, the amount of time you spend browsing through your Facebook feed, reading people going back and forth in the comment section, arguing about something that's happening in the Middle East, or you stop scrolling through the Explore tab on Instagram, half the times you do it every day. You do it 10 times a day, just do it 5 times a day instead. If you spend 4 hours a day scrolling through YouTube, watching joke videos and fight videos from places that you don't even know those fights really happen, they might be staged, and instead you just spend 2 hours a day watching the garbage, what would you do with that extra time? I don't know, but hopefully if you're asking about productivity, you got some ideas. And point number three, you got to start valuing yourself more. People who get to high levels of power and high levels of influence in life, they get there by valuing their own time, meaning they do not allow other people like you and me to create their agenda. They have their agenda. This is what I'm going to do. And if there happens to be some space where you can fit in, listen, I can give you this much time. I can do this for you. Or you know what? I can't do nothing for you. I got to turn that down. I'm not available. I'm not interested. They blow you off. They don't respond to your email. They're not writing you back to your text. They're not calling you back when you call them. All right. Those are people who value their time. It's not because they hate you. It's not because they're trying to be ignorant in the negative way, the negative type of ignorant. It's not because they're trying to be negative. It's just because they got other things to do. And they got to prioritize themselves. I want all you to remember, if you want to be successful in life, you must be selfish. Success is selfish. All right, I understand if you want to be a giving person, you want to help other people out. Listen, I do those things. But at the same time, I'm also knowing that I got to prioritize my own time and do what I got to do for me to get me to where I want to go. Because if I don't get to where I want to go, I can't help anybody else get to where they want to go. Everybody got that. Now, before I take questions, I'm going to tell you about these 2 books I got sitting in front of me. First thing I'm going to tell you up front, both of these books, I've already paid for them. You do not have to pay for these books. If you want to pay for them, I'll gladly accept the money. You can go on Amazon, and these books are on Amazon, but I'm going to tell you how to get them for free. If you're interested in that, listen up. This book right here is called The Mirror of Motivation. It's the self-guide to self-discipline. That's the subtitle. I wrote this book so that even if you're not interested in discipline, let me tell you why you would want this. You want this book so that you can start being the person that you truly know you are deep inside, that maybe you've been holding back on being, so you can start doing what you really want to do with your life, so you can be and have the type of life that you actually want to have. So you can live the life that most people do not live, because most people are living their lives with the emergency brake on. You ever try to drive a car with the emergency brake on? How far did the car get? It will still move, but it's not moving nearly as quickly as it would, and it may not ever get to its destination because that emergency brake is slowing things down. This book will help release the emergency brake off of your life so you can start being who you really want to be, which means you will be different from 99% of people on this planet. If you want to do that, you don't want to be average anymore, get this book by going to mirrorofmotivation.com. Just the title without the. Mirrorofmotivation.com. This book is free. All you do is take care of the shipping. Tell me where to ship the book. We ship this book worldwide, anywhere you live. We will ship this book to your doorstep, to your P.O. box, to your mailbox. We'll slip it in a little slot so where the dog might get to it. Mirrorofmotivation.com. That's where you get this book. This book right here, it's called The Overseas Basketball Blueprint. This book is only for a certain person. Listen up. This book is only for someone who wants to play professional basketball overseas. If you do not want to play ball overseas, this book is not for you. If you do want to play basketball overseas, this is the book for you. I came from a Division III school. I walked on to play college ball D3. Finished playing college ball, did not have any scouts watching me, no prospects, no agent, no contacts, no connections, no information, no nothing. The internet was not the internet when I got out of college. and I figured it out, made a 9-year career in basketball. Everything that I learned, everything that I would do if I did it over, everything I wish I knew that nobody told me, I had to figure out through trial and error. I put it all in this book so that you can start a professional basketball career, playing ball anywhere in the world, getting paid, getting your travel paid for, your housing paid for, your food paid for, and all you got to do is go to a gym and play basketball for 2 to 3 hours a day. Are you kidding me? If there's a better job than that, somebody, I ask this every day, if there's a better job than playing basketball for a living, somebody name it. I'm an entrepreneur right now, and it's not a better job than playing basketball. All right, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. The job that I got right now as an entrepreneur is the second best job I ever had. The number one job I ever had was playing basketball. All right, this is the best job in the world. Get this book by going to balloverseas.com. You get your free copy of this book. It's a 237-page book. I've already paid for the book. You cover the shipping. balloverseas.com, the Overseas Basketball Blueprint. Now, I'm taking every question that we got in here. So if you got a good question, make sure you post it. I'm addressing it right here and right now. Hey, Zeus over there said, too much pleasure leads to poverty. That is definitely true. Let's see. If you got a question, go ahead and post it. The earlier your question is posted, the earlier I can get to it. Benny Jakes checking in from Italy. So we got Italy in the house. What's good? Drew Pearson, I appreciate you. Shaw 30, where can you get the book? I guess I've answered that question now. Tell me what book you're asking about, and I'll make sure if you're asking about a different book than what I just said, I'll make sure I tell you. Sly Jr. 007, what's good? Impact Over Fitness, what up? AK Logistics, what's going on? Let's see. Money May 604. Appreciate the comments. Seckles SLS. What's going on? Derek from Georgia. What's up? Drew Pearson says, can bad investments be people too? Absolutely. People is one of the worst investments. Bad people are one of the worst investments that you could possibly make, because whatever energy the other people have that you deal with them, that energy infects you. Emotions are contagious, and energy is contagious. If somebody's a loser, being a loser is contagious. You hang around a loser, you're probably going to become one. If you hang around winners, that's contagious too. Y'all know the law of association. You heard of the law of association? Drew Pearson and everybody else. You become the average of the people you spend the most time with. It doesn't have to be 5 people. It could be 2 people. It could be 30 people. It could be 10. It could be 1. Whoever you spend time around, you become that person. And if you don't have any people physically around you and you're on the internet all day, or whoever you're watching on the internet all day, you become like them. Whoever you are around, you become. Be Like Consulting, Jessica, appreciate the comments. Drew Pearson, appreciate that. Coach Kev is in here. What's going on, Coach Kev? Money May, you think this is making you better or worse? You tell me. You tell me. I know what it did for me. You tell me. If it's not working for you, then you know what to do. If it's a bad investment, you shouldn't keep making it. Coach Kev says, a tough decision to do what makes you better, but it's necessary. Your goal is to become the best version of yourself. Why, Coach Kev, why do you say it's a tough decision to do what makes you better? Why would that be a tough decision? What are you choosing between? What else would you do? Something that makes you worse? And why do you have to choose between those two things? Drew said, wouldn't it make us a better version of ourselves if we helped a 2-minute person into a 2-hour person? That's a great question. So this is a good question right here. Let me address this. Drew Pearson said, would it be good if you found a 2-minute person and you, through your influence, you brought them up to being a 2-hour person? So you basically take somebody who's losing and you help turn them into a winner. My answer to that question is this, and I talked about this in masterclasses at Work on Your Game University, just in case. I'm going to give you the short answer here. You want a more detailed answer, go to Work on Your Game University. Here's the answer. A 2-minute individual, when they see that you're a 2-hour individual, they see that you're a level above them. Let me tell you all something. I want y'all to listen to this very closely and always remember this. When they decide that they want to become a 2-hour person, they decide they want to get to the level that you're at, they will come to you. You do not go to them and try to pull them up to where they don't want to be. You got to leave them where they're at, and when they want to get better, they'll come to you. You cannot try to force it. Do not try to force it. I don't know if any of you are parents. Like, listen, me and my girl, we know this couple, right? They got a kid, and the dad is like this big soccer fan, and he wants his kid to be a soccer player. And the kid's like, how old is that kid? 1 year old? Kid like 1 year old. So before the kid was even born, right, we was eating dinner, And the dude was like, this is when the mom is still pregnant with the kid. He's like, yeah, I'm going to teach my son soccer. And he was asking me questions because, I play ball. Like, how would you teach a kid? And he's trying to strategize before his kid was even born. He wants to make his kid into a soccer player. Here's the problem with trying to make your kid into a soccer player or trying to make a 2-minute person into a 2-hour person. Same thing, just parallels. Is that if they don't really want to do it, all you're going to be doing is banging your head against a stone wall. It's like trying to pull a goat up a hill. All right, if the goat don't want to go up the hill, the goat ain't going up the hill. All right, now you could pull all you want. You end up breaking the goat's neck before you get that goat to walk up that hill. They have to want to go where you want them to go. If they don't want to go there, they will not go there. And all you're doing is wasting your time in bad investments trying to turn a what do they call it? Y'all know the sayings. You can't turn a penny into a nickel. All right, you can't do it. A 2-minute person is going to be a 2-minute person until they choose to become a 2-hour person. You can't make them. You can't influence. You can kind of influence them. All you can do is be an example. You got to do you. And listen, they know. If you know somebody who's a 2-minute person and you're a 2-hour person, they know that you're above. They know the level that you're at. They see what you're doing. They see you reading the books. They see you getting better. They see you working on your game. They see you doing things that make you better. They see it. They know. They're not dumb. Okay? They're not stupid. They know. So if they want to get on the same path that you're on, guess what they're going to do? You know what they're going to do? They're going to make your hotline bling. All right, ain't that the song? Drake, hotline bling. All right, your phone going to start ringing. You see my phone right here? See the text? See that 2 right there? See that notification? All right, your text going to start lighting up. You're going to start having calls. You're going to start having missed calls in your phone. See that red? Those are missed calls. They're going to be calling you. They're going to be texting you. They will be reaching out to you. They'll be knocking on your door like, yo, what up? All right, they're going to be coming to see what's up. If they want to get on your level. If they're not calling you, texting you, knocking on your door, sending you emails, that was me, then they don't want to get to where you at. Just accept it. Move on. All right, you cannot make somebody get better. That's impossible. If somebody wants to work, when you see this book, work on your game, I can't make you read this book. I can tell you I got it. I can tell you where to get it. I can tell you why you want it, but I can't make you get it. Listen, these books are free. People hear me talk about these books every day. They still don't get them. I can't make you want the book. I can't make you want to get to where you want to get to. If you want it, I'll tell you how to get it. I'll give it to you. You'll get it. You order this book for free. I guarantee you, you will get this book. All right, 100% promise you will get it. If you order it, you'll get it. But if you don't want it, hey, ain't my fault. You don't want to play ball overseas? Hey, I've been there. I played. I got stamps in my passport. You don't want stamps in yours? Hey, you do what you want to do. Ain't my business what you want to do with your life. Hopefully that answers your question, Drew Pearson. But that's a great question. I might do a whole masterclass on that topic. I'm glad you asked that question. Eyeball2424 says, is it bad that I focus more on working on my game than hanging out with my friends? I've lost friends in the past just for focusing on my game. Eyeball2424. Go to Work on Your Game University. I did a masterclass that is called Why You Will Lose Some of Your Friends in the Future. I actually did a masterclass on that exact topic. Let me see if I can find it. I know I have it in here. Here it is right here. Masterclass number 989. If y'all think, I don't know, some of y'all might think that I'm just in here talking. I do this every day. Trust me. Right here. Masterclass number 989. It says, why you will lose some friends over the next 5 years. Right here. Facebook. Y'all see that? Why you will lose some friends over the next 5 years. This document that I'm showing y'all, this is the list of every masterclass that I've ever done. There's over 1,400 of them, in case you didn't know. All right, those extra spaces, those are the ones that I'm about to record soon. I didn't record those yet, but they're coming. This is all 1,400 masterclasses I've ever done right here. So why? So you're asking, is it bad? It's not good or bad. It's just what it is. Nothing in life is good or bad. Everything is neutral. You decide whether it's good or bad, but you will lose some friends. But I tell you why in masterclass number 989. Eyeball 2424. It's a good question. Nomar says, now if you realize that someone is a 2-minute person, then you cut off your time with them and they become a 2-hour person, what happens? Well, then you can spend time with them. Now it makes sense. You give them 2 hours of your time. They got to earn that. If somebody wants to have your time, they got to earn your time. They got to be worth your time. That's why I said, the dude came to me and said, I want to talk to you on the phone. I said, all right, you got to pay me. That's the only thing that makes it worth it for me. Like, I know what he can learn from talking to me. I couldn't learn nothing from talking to him. He didn't have nothing to offer me. And that's not a negative thing. I wasn't saying like it was something wrong with him, but listen, I got to value me. All right, my time is worth what I tell you is worth. Either you want it or you don't. But it ain't my business that You are a 2-minute person. I'm a 2-hour person. If you want 2 hours of my time, you got to become a 2-hour individual. Or you could pay me for 2 hours of my time. Those are only two choices you got. Y'all got that? So then when they get on your level, they on your level. And anyway, when you become on the same level as somebody, law of association, y'all will be attracted to each other because y'all are on the same wavelength. So when they become the same level that you are, they will be on the same wavelength as you, and you will be attracted to them. Y'all run into each other, not even trying to, because you're on the same page. Over on Facebook, Jesus says, as an entrepreneur, what are 3 investments you have made that brought you the most profit? That's a very broad question. I would do a whole masterclass on that topic. I've already done it. The best 3 investments are people, books, and just investing in myself, just getting rid of negative influences. So one of the best investments is getting rid of the bad stuff. Another one is getting around the right people, and the other one is reading books. The reason why books are such a good investment, because somebody could take 15 years of their life, condense it down to 250 pages, and you can get 15 years worth of knowledge in 3 weeks in the time it takes you to read a book. So books are a great investment simply because all the time it took somebody to come up with the material for a book, you can get that in 2% of the time that it took them to have to live it. You can get it by reading it. That's the great thing about books. At least the books that are well written. Even a bad book, you can learn something. The tuba says, can a little bit of entertainment be beneficial even if it doesn't give you information to reach your goals? Yes, that's what I said. I didn't say cut out everything. Listen, I'll get on Facebook. I get on Instagram. I don't browse the feed on Facebook. Absolutely not. I think it's toxic, but that's just me. Instagram, I'll see what's going on. If somebody leaves a comment, I read that. I don't go in the Explore tab. I don't even scroll through my feed. So if I'm following you on Instagram and I didn't like any of your pictures, it's because I don't scroll through my feed. Because I really, really don't care what other people are doing. Honestly, I don't. But that's just me. I'm not saying you need to be like that. I take it to the extreme, but that's why I'm qualified to talk about it. So yes, there is value in entertainment, the two. But listen, I watch the NBA finals. I watch, what's something funny? Dave Chappelle's last special was hilarious to me. They didn't do anything to make me better. It didn't give me any material for writing a book, but I still enjoyed it. So yes, we need that time. We need the yin and the yang. Eyeball says, do you think it's better to work out twice a day? That question is unquantifiable. It depends on several different factors that are all contextual. I can't answer that. Jonathan says, Dre, if you had to give a ratio of being active and producing to resting in a day, what would it be? Just a rough estimate. Well, I sleep 8 hours a day, and when I'm awake, I'm working. That's it. I mean, I do self-care, things for myself, but I consider that that's kind of part of my life's business, so to speak. Working out, yoga, take a walk, protein shake, those kind of meditation, those I consider part of the business of life. That's just the lens that I look at things through. You don't have to look at things that way. Jai Raj asked Audible. What's the question, Jai Raj? You had to use a complete sentence. I don't know what you mean when you say Audible. Over on Facebook. Only got a couple minutes left. Instagram will kick me off. Jukebox says, got to help yourself before you can help others. Exactly. You can't help others, you ain't got nothing to help them with. If you have nothing to offer other people, why would they come to you? You got to have something to give. You can't give, you ain't got nothing. Salva35, what's good? Drew Pearson says, I got 2 minutes left. Instagram put the timer on me. They're about to kick me off. What do you think when you get backlash, being called selfish, cocky, etc., for focusing on your goals and getting done what needs to get done? I just think, well, that's the reason I'm different from whoever said it. And that's all right. There's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with them being different. There's nothing wrong with me being different. And no two human beings are exactly the same. So if me and somebody else don't see eye to eye in the way that I do things, well, guess who it doesn't matter to? Me. Because it's my life. I do what I want to do the way I want to do it. So if somebody has a different opinion, fine. Everyone is entitled to an opinion. As long as they're respectful about it, no problem. They can have a different opinion, and we can both do what we do while disagreeing. Nothing wrong with disagreement. D-Rock652 was good. Money May says, unquantifiable sounds like a word T.I. would randomly say. Yeah, the difference is I actually use that word in everyday conversation. T.I. had to use a dictionary. Ricardo says, what do you think about listening to music all day? I don't think anything about it. What about it? All right, last question. K-Del Sincero, Dre the GOAT. Follow Dre Baldwin, always putting out great content. I appreciate that. So I got 54 seconds left. Instagram put the timer on me. It's on the screen right now. So everybody, in case y'all didn't know, I do these lives every single day at 5:15 p.m. Eastern until further notice. Every day, 5:15 p.m. Eastern on Facebook /Work on Your Game, Instagram @Dre Baldwin. One more time, mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is free. Take care of the shipping. balloverseas.com. The book is free. Take care of the shipping. I'm doing another live tomorrow. It's a different topic every day. If you already got both of these books, you can get this at workonyourgamebook.com. It's 26 seconds left. There's a countdown. It's like a bomb about to go off. On Instagram, they're about to kick me off. Facebook, every day, 5:15 p.m. Eastern. Instagram, at Dre Baldwin. These books are free. I'm doing a new live every day, 5:15 p.m. Eastern. Listen, everybody, wash your hands for 20 seconds with soap and water. Do not shake anybody's hand. Wear a mask outside. Maintain social distance and work on your game. We out of here. Dre all day.